Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to Intentional Bagels, the show where me and my best friend talk nothing about bagels and exclusively about everything else. Well, sometimes bagels. Anyway, grab your cup of joe or your cup of tea and let's get going.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Hey, Anna.
Look, mine works now.
Oh, that's great. We're connected.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to Be Determined, where our name is To Be Determined.
That it is, Maria. We are two best friends who decided yesterday we should start a podcast. Was it smart? Probably not, but hey, what can you do? Quarantine wants and wills.
Corona 2020. Let's go through do you have a bunch of different taglines of your ideas?
Funny thing, I was like, listen, we could call it, I thought, what I'll do is I'll get some names together for our hypothetical podcast if it ever does happen. And I was like, I'll come up with names that would make sense and are pertinent, and then I'll go to a random name generator.
Okay.
And let's start with the two names I came up that make sense. As you know, your sister bought us all these sweatshirts, and she decided because they're rainbow, we would be called the Rain Gang. And so that is a potential.
So that's your starting off point.
That's the starting off point. And then in high school, we had that moment where you said you had a pear for lunch, and I said
a pear
of what? And you said a pear, and I said a pear of what? And so my next proposed title is A Pear, but spelled P-E-A-R.
A pear.
A pear.
That's good.
Thank you.
I like that a lot.
And if you'll allow me now, so I went to this website. I went to Masterpiece Generator, and I went through name generator for a business, and you can put like quite a few things into the equation. And so what I put in, you put the people who work there, and I put Anna Bass, I put Maria Leonard, I put the things that would be involved. I put crafts,
right?
Maybe. I put podcast.
Cool.
And as we are both Catholic, I put God.
Good.
And
that's so funny. So I went to. This is so embarrassing. I went to business school, and I have a marketing degree, and we talk about starting our own business and names of businesses.
Yeah.
And one thing you're supposed to do is include name or like what you want to talk about, basically. It's like your name is your name and what the point is. So it's cool.
So this is
so
following
it's working so far.
Incredible. So it gave me some options, and I think you'll be interested to hear them. And so the first suggestion I got, like Anna Bass Associates, and I was like, rude. And then I got Leonard Industries, and that's kind of rude. The next one is The Land of God.
Oh.
Which is something we can name our podcast. This one I really like. It's called Two Peas and a God. And I had to stop there because I was worried I'd find something even better. Oh.
Now you're really making it hard for me to follow up with my ideas. Two Peas and a God is kind of...
Yeah, also The Land of God. To name our podcast that for such mediocre friendship time.
Such mediocre friendship time.
That would be our podcast. That'd be quite interesting, but a power move nonetheless. Now, do you have any concept names for our podcast?
Like I said, it's kind of... I feel bad following up with Two Peas and a God because that's really hard to follow.
Oh, good.
I went down a similar route where I was like Googling what's a good way to create a name. And like I said, I already know kind of what you're supposed to do, but I went more down like, what are you supposed to do podcast wise?
Yeah.
And if you have enough of a fan base, you can use your name.
Yeah, we've got really friends.
But yeah, we don't have that much of a fan base.
No, but sometimes that's how I see my friends.
And then I just kind of decided to go with either like catchphrases that we say a lot, or like kind of not puns, but more of like jokes. So I have like that's wild.
That's wild. Okay.
That's wild. I have one that was kind of like a little sad to me because we met in high school, so I was like,
yeah,
maybe we could do something that's like pointed to the people in school and they're like growing up kind of thing, and like we're growing and maybe this can grow with us through our life. So I just decided maybe like it gets better.
Okay, yeah, because for a second I thought you were gonna say big.
We're getting big.
We're getting big.
I was like, oh no, it gets better, because that's like a thing people say to each other. It's like, oh, it gets better.
For sure.
Or maybe. I also have that's news to me.
That's news to me.
I thought, like,
I'm writing that down. What am I noting?
We'll circle back
to that, and also that's wild, because I've got thoughts.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
And like, especially if we were just like updating each other on what was going on, or like maybe talking about what's happening in the world, like that's news to me.
That's news to me.
And then I kind of went down a sillier route, which was things that just make us laugh.
Yeah.
So sure. I have Thank You 5.
Thank You 5.
As a name, which doesn't really make a lot of sense unless we talked about
theater a lot.
Theater a lot. But I have never been in one production.
And I love that it was suggested by you, but hey, like Renaissance women,
Mm-hmm. Going down that same line, I have just the name Yes and.
Yeah. Oh, yes and. Again,
yeah.
I don't even do
Neither
improv,
of us do
but
improv.
You know what? Love the concept. The concept is immaculate.
The culture of it really is applicable to how we live our lives.
Yeah. Adapting all the time.
Yes.
Yes anding everyone.
Yes. Yes anding each other.
Forcing other people to yes and us.
This next one is just based and inspired off of my Animal Crossing town. So I thought maybe Bagel.
Bagel. Okay. Very inspiring. Very intentional. Ooh, intentional. Intentional. Okay.
What about intentional bagel?
Intentional bagel. That sums us up as people.
Intentional bagels.
Ooh, I'm writing that one down, because intentional, like we've decided, is kind of the word of quarantine as we try to rein in our mental health. And we have said, like, oh, very good, Maria. That's very intentional of you. And good job, Anna, setting your day aside, because that was very intentional of you.
Yeah, because all we've been allowed to do is just sit at home. Yeah. I can't even work. So we have to find the intention where we can.
Yeah. And also, Bagel's the name of her island, so that's kind of wild.
Animal Crossing.
And we both love bagels. We both had bagels for breakfast today. Is that correct?
Yes, I did have a bagel for breakfast today.
Intentional bagels. I'm putting a pin in that.
I like that a lot. And this last one, I just thought it was very much cut and dry. Like, what are we here to do? We're just girls with opinions.
Girls with opinions, hell yeah.
And that was my last one. Girls with opinions. So I thought it was pretty cut and dry. And then I kind of like, I know I already told you this a little bit before, but what, like, you're supposed to have like a one-liner, like, what is your podcast? And it's a show where me and my friends talk about me and my friends.
Me and my friends talking about me and my friends. I love that. It's
just something to think about.
Yeah. Now, before we go ahead and like hunker down on a name, I want to talk to you about some things we can do in this show. Since the world is essentially our oyster, especially during this quarantine. Mm-hmm. I came up with some ideas, and I think they will also ring back to your names for the podcast.
Yeah.
I thought we could have segments in this show.
I can't wait to tell you about what I have, because I'm sure we have so many similar ideas.
I'm sure we had the same idea of That's Wild to Me.
Yeah.
Where we recap in the week things that were wild to me. We did that last night. And
we did that last
night. We talked about things that are wild to me and that we couldn't comprehend necessarily. And we said to each other, that is wild. Yeah. And that is also wild to me.
That was really authentic too.
And it was really authentic.
I'm
And
on board.
and I think we're capable of doing that is if we hear something that's like, if I hear something that's wild to me tomorrow or the next day and the day after, I can write that down and save it for a podcast.
Right. And that's how we function.
And that is how we function. And also, the way you said, that's news to me, how that's like the name of the show, I think that could also function as a segment where we see something surprising like George Lopez did what now? And I say, that's news to me. Like, he's doing just fine. That's news to me. Or maybe that's wild to me. We'll have to decide, like, categories we could do, like, as we go. But
a news segment, or, like, we could talk about the news. But, like, news to us, like, not news to America. Just, like...
News to me, like, Dustin Hoffman is still alive. That is news to me.
2018.
2018.
That's news to me. That year, news
that
to me.
That year I couldn't place. Listen, I couldn't place 2018 the other day. If that comes back around as relevant info in my life, we'll talk about it, and that'll be wild.
She actually did something very similar to what we're doing now, which was what she made a bunch of notes and she brought them to me on a phone call because that's how our friendship works these days because we can't see each other face to face. And we were going through the bullets of everything she wanted to say throughout the week. And then she said, 2018. Do you remember it?
And I think that's something we all can reflect on. Like, 2018, do you remember it? Just take a moment sometime in your day and just ask yourself that question because it's important.
Because I myself barely remember 2018.
Hardly.
It's 2020 right now. It's 2018. 2018, I do remember is the year that I met my boyfriend. But other than that, like, I can't. I don't even...
It's not there for me. And we did do fun things. We did go on a beach trip. And I isolated, remember, right? And I only know that because I just made that collage video recently. Yeah. Talk about getting behind. But, like, oy vey. Yeah. But then she's not there. I don't know her. But that's okay. Sometimes you lose years.
Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
What other segments do you have, Anna?
This is stolen directly from Superfruit, the YouTube channel, but where we say a song we're listening to, or songs we like, or albums we like, artists we like, etc.
Already so far, you have a That's Wild to Me, That's News to Me. I have a segment.
Sorry, it sounds like I directly stole them from you, but go on.
I have one, Thoughts on the Matter.
Thoughts on the Matter. I love that. That's a back and forth.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the matter?
That's a volley.
Exactly. I have another one. You just said we could do a music one. I went musical bit. That was mine. We could just
period.
we could talk about music. We could talk about musicals. We could talk about the music we make.
What we imagine music is. What we imagine popular music is like.
Just a bit of music. We could just talk a bit about music.
Yeah.
Just a bit though.
Just a bit.
Musical bit. Thoughts on the matter.
I approve. Period.
Great.
A new title. That was a bit.
Does that make us sound too much like a joke?
Is that what not this is?
We demand to be taken seriously.
Is that what not this is?
This is a joke.
This is a joke. I'm just
like
kidding.
My life. This is one big joke.
Some will be funny, hopefully, but can't all, gotta pick your battles.
Yeah.
But we can definitely get serious on the show and talk about hard-hitting matters like, I don't know, the social economic inequality.
I just looked off into the distance. Where do I begin with the social economic inequality?
We don't have to talk about it now, but that's something we can tackle one day. We can open up this show one day and say, hey guys, no jokes today. We're actually
get serious.
We're going to come on and say, no jokes today, guys. We're going to whisper softly and tell sad things. Like NPR. Sorry, guys. The world's real bad outside today.
I just wouldn't know because I haven't been able to go outside.
And we don't check. Because it's just too sad. Just too hard when you're stuck in your house and you can't do anything about it. But, pick your battles.
Yeah. So we don't have to do serious stuff. But we could talk about our lives. I was thinking we could do little life updates, little school updates.
Oh yeah, I'm coming in these shows every week, and I'm coming in with a recap with what's going on with me, with what weird thing happened in my house, what happened in my house this week. Because again, we're not out and about, or maybe I did go out and about. Maybe I am supporting my local business, Dunkin' Donuts, and maybe I did order a coffee and get no coffee in my coffee.
Right. We could do like weekly updates on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have a few more like bits. I was thinking we could do like movie reviews.
Oh yeah.
Or we could do like in those movie reviews.
Yeah.
Could just be like TV shows or games or anything. Like,
yeah.
I played a video game, I'm going to review it. My last three are just like trying to stay trendy. Just like maybe trends that we can talk about.
Oh, for sure.
Clothes that we do.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I do some
what we
clothes.
try to do. Why I bought Animal Crossing was just to try and stay trendy.
Oh, and she got addicted.
She did.
She's not afraid of it.
And then I was thinking maybe we could do like a let's craft it situation.
Let's craft it!
Craft it!
Craft it!
And then the final thing, which really ties into Two Peas and a God. I was thinking we could have a segment called Let's Talk About Christ Baby. Let's talk about Christ Baby.
Let's talk about him and me.
me.
And now, what does that entail?
Just talk about Christ Baby.
Okay.
Maybe every week we could do like a theme. Like, okay, let's talk about romance. That could be the romance theme. And then every segment that we do has a romantic twist on it. And like, or maybe we just talk about Christ once in a while. But if we're Two Peas and a God, like,
we gotta bring God into it for sure.
Something.
You're right. If we do get to go with that name, we will have to bring him into this in a good kind way. But hey
guys, what are your thoughts? Should we talk about Christ or not?
Should we bring him out? Should we bring him out? What would I tell you if we had him backstage right now? Come on out, sir. Hi.
Let's talk about Christ, baby. Christ, what are your thoughts on the matter?
What are your thoughts? Would you like to be featured on a podcast? I don't think he would, but I think if we did, it would also be very good. And it wouldn't have to be comedy. It could just... I don't think it has to be serious and like uncomfortable. I think it could be good. If Christ
was there?
If Christ was here?
Yeah. Because I think we would get a big following too.
I hate that you just said that. I nearly hung up on you, but that's not what we're doing here. So that I didn't have the option to get out. My fight or flight mode was activated.
All right, Anna, what do you think?
I really like the name Two Peas and a God. I really do. Just because that's the wildest thing. And it also the sound is funny. And also the mystical body of Christ.
The
Embach.
My only thing is that I'm worried it ties us too down. It's like too down.
I know. It could tie us too close to like...
People would be like, us.
Ooh, this is going to talk all about church when that probably won't really happen.
And that's kind of why I like intentional bagels.
Yeah, I do like intentional bagels. Oh,
because
we
it's
are
vague, but it's specific, and that's what we are.
We are very vague, but we're trying really hard. Two Peas and a God.
Intentional bagel.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so Two Peas and a God.
I'm imagining what the t-shirt would look like for both of those, and I'm thinking Two Peas and a God would be our faces we were the peas. And then there would be a pod, and maybe we would have halos, or there would be a halo around the pea pod. And then intentional bagels would just be something so similar. Would just say intentional, and it would be the image of a bagel, kind of cartoony.
Yeah.
And it's just like our cartoon faces are associated, and it's hard for me to pick a t-shirt I like more.
Two Peas and a God.
You clearly have a favorite.
I know, but I so hear you, but it's such a funny name to me. We might have to do some field surveying, is what
some
we're
marketing.
saying.
I could totally do that.
Yeah.
My collateral is in marketing.
Oh my god.
She said shut up.
No, use that degree. Damn. It's just so funny. I saw it and I yelled out loud. I was by myself and I yelled. And I don't want you to think I don't understand the significance of intentional bagel and that I don't like it. I really love intentional bagels because it makes sense.
Yeah. What if we had a segment called Two Peas and a God? We incorporate it, but it's not the name. Okay. We are a coffee people.
Yeah. People
America
be allergic.
Is a coffee people.
Yeah.
Intentional bagel just makes me feel like someone is sitting there with their breakfast, their bagel maybe, but definitely their coffee, and they're just like chilling with us in the morning, and like we can have coffees.
Okay, you know what? You're right. You're right.
And it's right. Like a time and a space and an energy where we can all just come together as intentional bagels,
as a country, as a world, as a global society. Yeah, let's do it, and we'll name a segment Two Peas and a God.
Okay, and we could talk about God.
Oh, you can talk about God.
Or peas.
Yes.
So that's it?
That's it. We're intentional bagel.
Are we intentional bagel or are we intentional bagels?
Bagels. Bagels.
We're each a bagel.
I'm an intentional bagel, but we are intentional bagels.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
We should come out with our own brand of bagels.
Oh my gosh. It just flashed before my eyes. Like I just saw like a list of marketing things and like t-shirts and bagels and maybe different coffee creamers.
We need to get on that soon.
Bags, fanny packs, shoes, socks,
lapel pins,
enamel pins. Yes,
enamel pins.
A musical track.
A musical track that says intentional bagel.
It's specific, yet open-ended.
I'm gonna tell you, when I started this episode 1, I didn't see it ending here, but it makes the most sense nonetheless.
Yes, ma'am.
With us being intentional bagels, because that's what we've been all along. Our intentional
it was right
bagels.
In front of us.
Yeah, we both ate bagels together this morning, and we both made bullet journals.
We did. We made very intentional bullet journals. We spent 2 hours doing that over the phone. Wow. We conquered our intentions. It was foreshadowing moment.
With bagels.
For sure.
Yeah. So. Excuse me. Whoa. Whoa.
All right. Well, I guess that was the 30-minute mark.
I guess that was the 30-minute mark, Maria.
I guess we did it, Anna.
I guess we have recorded our first podcast. And I'm yelling now.
Oh boy. I bet the audio's all over the place. I know a lot of people do this thing where they hold the mic in the same spot, and I sure was not doing that.
I was like swinging it around like this, so it's gonna sound like real funky, like I'm running around the room. But don't worry, I wasn't running anywhere. So I guess this has been this has been 2 intentional bagels. 2 intentional bagels.
Getting toasty
for the first time.
For the first time.
Wow, that just felt so natural. What's our sign off?
Man, what is it?
Stay toasty. Stay toasted. Spread. Spread. Absolutely not.
We can't do spread.
Spread. Schmear. Smile. Smile.
I never thought of how we would end this podcast. All right, I guess me and my friends talked about me and my friends.
I guess we were intentional and we're bagels. So Goodbye.
See you on the next. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.